Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, or if you are joining us on the replay, welcome, welcome, and welcome back to Level Up Live for Limitless Leaders. I am your host, Simone Elbow. I am so excited that for the second time in a row, we're going to make this a habit, I can tell. I am so happy to welcome back to the show Dr. Omega W. Wilson. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back. I'm so excited. Of course, I love you all. I love it. Thank you for having me back.
Yes, indeed. I was telling you off air how I had seen so many great comments. So many people just loved everything that you had to say, especially lead with love.
Oh,
People really
yeah.
loved that one. People really loved that.
Yeah. Thank you. It's important. It's important, not just because it's the pandemic or COVID, but it's important. I mean, if you're not showing your people love, you can cancel Christmas, you all. You need to show love. You need to let people see your heart and people know that you care. But yeah, I had a great response from last week's show. Lots of inboxes on all social media platforms, which means that people are on here, they're on coming in on Instagram and LinkedIn. So many messages, so many messages. So thank
That's
you for
wonderful.
inviting me. Thanks for having this topic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell us again a little bit about yourself if people may be tuning in for the first time and may have missed your introduction last time.
Yeah, so I'm Omega Wilson. Background in education. I am here in Richmond, Virginia. And like I said, I'm a former middle and high school principal, middle school principal for 1 year, high school principal for 5, director of high schools for education here in the Henrico County Public Schools, which is right outside of Richmond, Virginia. Um, After that, I became vice president of operations for a dropout recovery program. And then I just decided to, well, hurt God, as people say, and just touch more people, to be honest with you. And I started my consulting business in 2014. So after being vice president of operations, I just decided to go full time with this. And what we do with the consulting business, my consulting business, I serve as an educational consultant and leadership development coach. So it's multifaceted. We do a number of different things, and we have some big, big, big things coming up this year for educators and leaders, and in all capacities. But I work one-to-one with aspiring administrators, people who are interested in taking their careers to the next level, or educators who are interested in becoming administrators. I also work with current administrators who want to take their career to the next level and go into senior leadership. I do a lot of one-to-one coaching and mentoring with educators, but I also, and people outside of education. And I also do a lot of leadership development, hence the reason we're here, with churches, with businesses, with school systems, with corporations, organizations, to help them with their leadership team, or teams rather, and devise different strategies, techniques. We do a lot of SWOT analysis. We do the gamut. We call ourselves life changers, and we just want to impact the world and make a difference. That's all.
Yes, and I think that that is very important in many of our sectors, if not all, I would
Yeah.
hasten to say. And education is no different. Education, a lot of people may not think about that. They may think that our frontline people, especially during the pandemic, would have been
Yeah.
in healthcare. But
Right.
I think that our educators and students
Oh,
have taken a huge hit and disruption in the way that they deliver education and receive education.
let me
And
tell you,
so now
Simone.
is, ooh,
Oh, it's crazy. People have no idea. People have no idea. I even talked to somebody the other day who didn't even understand the way, I don't know how it works in the Bahamas, but how standardized testing works over here and accreditation for school systems. They didn't understand that in Virginia, anyway. I can't speak for other states, I'm not there, but they didn't understand that, schools become accredited because of one test for the child. Children take multiple tests, of course, but it's an assessment for that particular content or whatever. So you think about that, and you think about the fact that, students and schools and teachers are pretty much held to the same standards, even though we have been in a pandemic, even though students have missed a ton of school. Faculty, teachers have been out sick as well. And you say to yourself, how in the world? How do we do this? I'm working with one division where they've had to close the schools for the week because the numbers were so high or are so high amongst the faculty, staff, student body. It's crazy,
Yeah.
so you all say something kind to educators, say something kind to parents and students as well, because they're really going through. And I've never felt that this is my 30th year in education, Simone. And I can tell you that education has never been for the faint at heart. It's hard work, it's hard working, but it's never been for the faint at heart. And especially now, we need a lot of prayer and love and support in the education system. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, absolutely. We started the new year in the same way in the Bahamas. The
Wow.
first 14 days, we had to shut down all
No
schools
way.
because of the numbers and, of course, out of an abundance of caution.
Yeah.
So students are just returning to hybrid or face to
Yeah.
face
Yeah.
on Monday coming, the 24th of January. So that's 24 days of you don't know what was happening in the first 23 days.
Yeah. And it's
And
crazy.
it's really challenging, really, really
It's
challenging.
very, very challenging because here's what you got to realize too. No knock on anyone. Everybody's doing the best that they can in all areas. I get that. But these kids are going to lead us one day, while they're going to be multiple grade levels behind,
Yeah,
and a lot of teachers feel that right here in their heart. They take ownership for that and they want to make a change and they want to do something that's going to fix this situation. And we can't rely on, none of us can here in the world, but we can't ask somebody, give us some pointers. What did you all do when you were in the pandemic? How did you get your kids back on track? I mean, we're like fumbling around in the dark doing the best we can. And so many people are constantly, like shooting at us or whatever. But keep educators in prayer, man. Keep the state of education in prayer.
absolutely, absolutely, much needed. So, with that being said, great way to segue into our topic for the morning again, part two. And I can see this is
Yeah,
going to be a multi-part series as we
yeah,
talk
multi-part.
about
I love
yes, the skills that leaders need in 2022. So, with that in mind, based on what you just said, what would you say are some key skills that leaders need as we jump off from last week?
Wow. I'm just going to go back to last week. The first thing that if you don't have the skill of loving people and caring about people, like I said a few seconds ago, it sounds funny, but you can cancel Christmas because you're going to lose a lot of people. You're going to lose a lot of people. A lot of people are struggling on the job and off the job. So you got to let people know that you care, first of all. Love them and care about them. Be passionate and show compassion as well. Then the skill that you have to have is to have a proven track record of success. Whatever that means for you in your particular area, in your field of study, whatever it means. I don't know if you're a CEO. I don't know if you're founder of a corporation, or whether you're an educator, whatever it is. But you really should have some type of a proven track record so people can follow you. You want people to follow you, but you also want people to know that you understand what you're doing. Okay. Another thing that I know that this is at the top of the list as well, strong communication skills. I can't tell you how many people I talk to on a regular who tell me that the problem in their job or in their school system or in their church or wherever it may be is lack of communication. They don't know what's going on, or they find out at the last minute. We find out that we're getting ready to have a meeting in 30 minutes. Well, some people's calendars are booked, or they find out when they find out. But it's important to communicate in a variety of different ways. And that doesn't just mean in email or text or phone or whatever. But what it also means is you have to make sure that you're watching your tone. Tone is everything. Okay. So there used to be a little saying that we used to say, you got to meet me halfway. I don't know if we're still there. I really don't think. I'm not just talking about with kids, but I'm talking about with people. Sometimes people are like in the bed. And I'm not saying that you have to physically go there and get them, but you got to pull these people up. You have to, line them up nowadays. You have to motivate them. You have to inspire them. You have to encourage them. People are going through a lot. They're going through a lot, as you know, and communication is key. Here's a big, big one. Here's a big, big one. The skill set that a lot of leaders do not have. I just talked to someone yesterday about this, and they said to me, I'm not going to do that. Having courageous conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Having courageous conversations. That's key. It's hard. It's difficult, but it's necessary. And I told the person, I said, you have to have the conversation with the person to say X, Y, and Z, 1, 2, 3. And that person told me, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be able to do that. Well, why can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Wilson, really? And I'm like, yeah, really. These people need to hear from you. They're working with you, not necessarily under you, but they're working with you. You're their leader. And you have to be fearless. You have to be positive. No negativity. You have to show them that I have a sense of strength and courage to follow that. So are the courageous conversations hard? Are they tough? Sometimes it may lead to termination or whatever it may be, but you got to have that conversation as a leader. You took that on when you signed that line to say, I'm going to lead. So those are just a few skills that I think. I can go on and on forever and ever, but those are the top ones, I think, seriously.
Yes, I love them. And that's something I use the same phrase. It's so amazing, courageous conversations, because
Yes.
that is an area that I find people struggle with. I struggled with it because we are fearful often of people's reaction to what we're going to say, or just feeling that we will fall out of favor with that person, that we will lose
Right.
relationship. And it happens everywhere, at work, in personal lives. How many times we say we're just going to suck it up, right? These people, I hear people say all the time, oh, I'll just leave it to God. I'll let God deal with it. Like, that's such a cop out, because God even is expecting you to have some courageous conversations. He will tell you, be courageous. Do not fear. You see it all through. If that is what you subscribe to, you will see that all the way through. That is God's encouragement to you. So there's really no excuse. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because that is one of the areas, if you would recall, if you watched part 1, I referred to an article, Top 10 Critical Leadership Skills. And actually, this was for 2021, but I think it's still applicable for us today. And communication is number 8.
Yeah.
And he references, particularly in times of crisis.
Yes.
It is critical. As you mentioned, people need to know, people need information. And he also mentions repetition. And we know that that's a great part of learning, right?
Yep.
Repetition of the messages and using a variety of channels to communicate. So
that's
you
it right
can't
there.
just depend on email. There are some organizational cultures, everything is email. But what I have found in this time of crisis and change, that old school way is that way that has been working. That what you talked about, you may not be able to go and pull them out of the bed, but you may have to pick up the phone, not send a text message, not send an email, not send some social media post, but actually pick up the phone. Let me hear your voice. How are you doing it? And that's been going such a long way.
Oh my God.
With
I'm
people
like
feeling
bursting.
connected. Yeah.
Simone, I'm like bursting. Sorry to cut you off, but I wish I could show you my phone. I wish I could show you my phone. I would not do that. But I'm telling you, 10 minutes before I got on this broadcast, I had a conversation with someone, and they gave me an update, and I told them, this is great. This is really great. They told me what they were getting ready to do, next steps. And I told them, they said, I sent messages to XYZ 1, 2, 3. And I said, this is really, really good. This is a start, but I don't want you to text anybody else. I want you to pick up the phone and have a conversation with them. They need to hear your tone. They need to, 10 minutes before this broadcast, I kid you not, I wish I could show you. I wish I could screenshot it and put it up here for everybody to see. So you know I'm not kidding you. But they need to hear your voice. Your voice is everything. They need to hear your voice. Put that phone down with that text messaging and that emailing, because you never know, first of all, what the tone is going to be like. I can't tell you how many messages I've sent or how many messages have been sent to me that have been misinterpreted. And I'm like, why did you say that? Or somebody said to me, why did you say it like that? And I'm like, I just said it. What do you mean? Exactly. But you never know. You don't know what mood someone is in when they get that. They may be way up here, so they think the message is way up there. Pick up the phone and have an articulate conversation with people so they can hear your tone, so they can hear your voice, again, so they can know that you care about them, so that they can know what the message is all about. So yeah, communication is key, tone is key, voice is key, all of that. Very, very important. Very, very important.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to your other point where you talked about having that expertise, knowing what you're doing, getting results, and being decisive, I think that
Mm.
is definitely a critical skill for leaders because people are looking for some constant, some stability, some anchor
Mm-hmm.
in these times. And generally, we're talking about crisis times, but generally, people
Yeah.
want a leader who can make a decision.
Yeah. Yeah. They
And
want a
so,
leader who can lead.
who
They
can
want a
lead?
leader who can lead,
Right.
not
And
somebody who's going to tuck their tail and hide in the corner or stay in their office. You have to be
right.
visible.
Be
Lead, lead. Go ahead.
exactly. I was just going to piggyback off what you said. Be visible. Get out there. This is a definite pet peeve of mine. You can't always lead from the office. And I
No.
know that we are constantly bombarded by meetings, and meetings are important, but meetings in and of themselves and how to run an effective meeting is a skill too, I
Right,
might add.
right, right.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that there is an agenda, that there is structure, that we control the conversation, not that people can't have input, but getting those other people in line that want to take you off track, that want to hog up the time and all of that.
Yeah.
We should create a culture for meetings as well, that
Yes.
our meetings are not going to go beyond an hour or whatever that's going to be. If we're going to have a stand-up meeting per se, or in project management, or particularly Scrum, I just learned this. They
Mm-hmm.
have the daily Scrum, which is
Mm-hmm.
like a 15-minute meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can imagine how much you can accomplish just by updating in 15 minutes. You're
Yeah.
training
Yeah.
people to speak succinctly and to stay on course. These
Yes.
are, I think, some very important skills. But number 9 in this article is execution. And I believe that
Mm-hmm.
that kind of sums up what we've been talking about. As a leader, you are required to execute your responsibilities and to do what you do best, and to understand what you don't do best, that you
Yes.
delegate
Yes. Yes.
to the
Yes.
people on the team, which is
Yeah.
another skill. Who are the
Yeah.
people on your team who
Mm-hmm.
can actually get stuff
Mm-hmm.
done? You can't do everything. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what sometimes slows our organizations down, because
Yeah.
you have people who are hoarding the work and they are not maximizing the resources, the human capital that they have in their organizations.
And a lot of
Another,
times,
go ahead,
a lot
please.
of times, Simone, that happens because people want to be seen as the big boy or the big girl. And that's not what
Yes.
leadership is about. That's not what
Mhm.
leadership is about. That's not what true leadership is about. Okay. When you are a leader, you have to, here's what you have to realize. A lot of people fail to realize you have to, in order to be a great leader, you need to be an excellent follower. Okay. But a lot of people don't know how to do that because they have a lot of pride and they want to showboat, as the kids say. They want to showboat, and you can't showboat and execute at the same time. Not with, and be proficient, if you will. You can be out there in front and you can be shining and everything, but at some time or another, you're going to have to rely on your team. And like you said, you're going to need to delegate. You're going to need to delegate. So, like I said last week, it's very important. It is very important for you to surround yourself with people who are like-minded, number one. Number two, in your corporation, in your organization, in your school system, in your church, your business, whatever it may be, your club, you need to make sure that you find people that you can rely on. I call them my trusted agents. When I was principal, when I was director, you got to have people around you who are going to, I want to say, call you out, not in front of the masses, of course. You having a faculty meeting, somebody call you out. I'm not saying that, but somebody who's going to be honest with you, somebody who you can trust. Your trusted agents are people who believe in you and who you believe in as well. So yeah, you want to make sure that you are delegating, because you're going to burn yourself out, first of all, if you're trying to do it all by yourself. And that's not what a team is. A team is not going to the table saying, this is what I did, now let's go on and do great. No, a team is when people come together, they make decisions, they wrap their mind around issues, concerns, and problems, and go ye. But also having a team is having a strong leader who knows how to execute, who knows how to delegate, who knows how to lead by example. Like I always say in my book, lead by example. And that's not just a cliche or something like that.
No,
But when you
no.
hear that, you need to you have to ask yourself, am I being the best example in the room? Because like I said last week, and like I say all of the time, you got to realize, for everybody who's listening, somebody, and I don't know who that somebody is, but somebody is watching you. Somebody is depending on you. Somebody is relying on you. Somebody is expecting you to help pull them through whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. And you may never know that because you don't know what cross someone is bearing. But what you have to know is somebody's depending on you and somebody is watching you. They may never let you know it.
That's right. I just shared that with another group yesterday in a session. And I used a quote actually by John C. Maxwell that
My
people buy
man.
into the leader
Yes.
before they buy
Yes.
into the vision.
Yes. Yes. 100%. 100%. You can have a vision out of this world. Let me tell you. I just told this is crazy that we have all these examples, but it means that we're working. We're not just listen. Simone and I are not just talking to talk. We're walking the walk. But I just
Right.
had this conversation with someone the other day. You got to pull yourself together. You got to pull you're just like a fruit fly on crack. You're everywhere. You got to come in. Bring it in. I mean, you got all these ideas and you got all these grandiose suggestions and everything, and they're great. They're phenomenal, but you're everywhere. Let's dial this thing back, write the vision and make it plain. And then let's put down some pros, let's put down some cons of these things. But whatever it is, your people need to see your vision if you want them to follow you. Okay? They're gonna invest in you and then invest in your vision.
That's
When they
right.
see that you're tried and you're true, when they see that you're not just talking about it, but you're also, as the kids say, obviously I stay around kids a lot. You're not just talking about it, but you're being about it.
That's right.
You've heard us say before, you're walking that walk and you're
That's
talking
right.
that talk.
That's
That's
right.
how you get people to buy into your mission, your vision, and your leadership.
Yeah.
So you got to ask yourself, how am I being an example for these people? If nobody's
Absolutely.
following you, John Maxwell says, if you're trying to be a leader and nobody's following you, you're just a person taking a
We're gonna
walk.
walk.
You're
That's
taking a
right.
walk, and you're by
It's
yourself. That's the saddest thing. Go ahead.
I was going to say that people today are looking for leaders they can believe in.
Yeah.
People have become so jaded by leadership because people in the past and present times have proven that they're not trustworthy.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
believe what you
That's
say.
huge.
You
That's
don't live up
huge.
to your own
Yes,
hype,
ma'am. Mm-hmm.
right? You're just a big PR message with
Mm-hmm.
nothing behind it. Smoke and mirrors,
Yeah.
right? People
Yeah.
don't want that. People want
You don't want that.
leaders who are authentic, that they
Right.
are real, that they are approachable, that they are going to tell you that, look, this is not easy, but this is how
Mm-hmm.
I've done what I've done. This is how
Mm-hmm.
I get done what I need to get done. People who are in the trenches with them,
In the trenches, boots
working,
on the ground.
showing them what to do, demonstrating, leading by example.
Yes,
Don't
ma'am.
tell me what I need to do if you're
Yes,
not
ma'am.
prepared to do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't need, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's because I worked in companies that didn't believe in it, but I don't need an assistant
Mm-mm.
to make me coffee, to make
Mm.
photocopies and all
Very
these other
tag.
things that, to talk about, oh,
Yeah.
I'm a leader because I can order somebody around to do these tasks
No,
for
no,
me.
no, no, no,
I
no,
can
no, no.
scan my own documents. Hello,
I know that's
somebody.
right, honey. I know
I can
that is
staple my
exactly.
own
Yeah.
papers if you were still stapling things, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so what,
You're
we
so right.
get to that place of taking off this veneer of what leadership is
Yeah, that
to
is
provide
so
people,
cool.
right?
I love that you said all of that. I do need an assistant. I'm getting ready to hire an assistant that has
Well, I
nothing to
mean,
do
we
with me
need
stapling
it,
my
right?
papers. But God, no, sometimes I'm like, am I going to come? I feel like I'm the fruit fly crack sometimes, to be honest. But seriously,
So
leadership
true.
leadership is not about somebody carrying your bag. I was at a conference one day and somebody said, "Can I help you get your bags?" And I'm like, I really appreciate that, but I'm not that person. I got arms. God has blessed me. Now, if I'm trailing a whole bunch of suitcases behind me or something, I'm not going to be that person to strap a book bag around my neck and then something on my shoulder and then a purse over here. Yeah, help me out, please. If you see I'm struggling, help me, But no, a lot of people misuse that title, and they, because that's what they want it as. They want to say I'm a leader, or I'm a
Mhm.
vice president, or I'm a principal, or I'm a chief, or I'm a pastor, or whatever it may be. But let me tell you, you tell on yourself every single day with your actions. Your actions are
Yeah.
speaking louder than your words. That's what a lot of people fail to realize. Positive actions or negative actions. If you ask me to partner with you on an endeavor and you don't know how to respond to emails, text messages, calls, we snip, snip, baby, because I already know what I'm getting ready to get myself into. Okay, now if you come to me and say, I need help with communication, yeah, I got you all day long. But you can't expect to lead people and have people following you if you don't organize yourself and if you are not showing people that you trust them. Trust is at the top of the list, man. Trust is at the top of the list. One of the major reasons, I'm gonna tell you this, one of the major reasons why I had buy-in from the faculty, staff, parents, and student at Hermitage, the majority of them anyway, everybody didn't love Dr. Wilson, but the majority of them is because they knew that I could trust them and they could trust me. They knew that I loved them and they loved me. They knew I cared about them. It was personal, man, but it was also professional. Okay. They knew it was personal because it was heart work. The
Yes.
job of a leader should be heart work. It
Yes.
should not be work. For 5 years, when I was principal of Hermitage, I didn't go to work. It wasn't a job because it was my passion. It was something I loved doing. That was the best job I ever had in my entire life. Let everybody know that. And it also was in part to, I had a superior leader. Dr. Eric Jones was my supervisor. He didn't let me do what I wanted to do, but he let me do what I wanted to do. Why? Because he trusted me. And he showed me that he cared about me and my school as well. So he didn't micromanage me. He wasn't calling to check on me, holding me by a chain, seeing what I was doing, addressing everything that I did, correcting everything that I did just because it wasn't his leadership style. Leaders, let people lead. Teach them. You hired them for a reason, whatever the position is. I don't even care if it's in telemarketing, somebody's answering the calls. You hired them. And if you didn't, they were hired for a reason.
Exactly.
Let people do their jobs and don't micromanage. That micromanagement stuff gets on me. I don't like
Yeah.
that. I've never been a
And
micromanager. I got to manage myself. I can't manage everybody else. I can't take care
it's
of me right now.
tiring. It is tiring, and I feel that a lot of that comes from fear, and leaders must do their own heart work,
Right.
right? In order to
Mm-hmm.
do heart work, you
Mm-hmm.
need to look at what your triggers are, what your
Oh,
fears
ooh,
are, what your
yeah,
struggles are, and deal with
yeah.
them, because being in a leadership role will bring all of that stuff to the surface.
The
And who's
surface.
going to suffer for it? Your team and
Yeah,
your
yeah,
organization.
yeah.
You will bleed all over your people.
Yes. Ooh,
Have to
ooh.
deal with your stuff. I am so
Deal with
passionate
it.
about that, because I just see where broken people are breaking people.
Ooh,
And
I
so
love
we
that.
like to
Broken people
say,
are breaking.
hurt people is the same concept, but
Yeah,
we have to deal with our stuff. But I
yeah.
put this comment on here to your point that true folks like to do busy work. Thank you, Dr. Alexis, for sharing this, and not prioritize the work. And
Mm.
this is what you were talking about. I love that, a fruit fly on crack.
Tell me, come on now.
Oh
Let's be
my
real,
gosh.
Simone. You know a lot of those people, don't you? You know
Yes,
them. You know
yes,
them. That's why you laughing because you know.
yes.
See,
I
that's
had a
not the perfect
visual.
description. They
It
said that I'm
is.
like, what in the world are you doing here? And I'm not even gonna kid you. Former special ed teacher, so I don't use the terminology lightly. People, I know it's the sentence of conversation, special education. I got a little bit of ADHD going on, just a little bit. I diagnosed myself because I've been in the profession for 30 years. I know we know our own. But I mean, somebody might think sometimes I can be a fruit fly, but those fruit flies on crack take it to a whole nother level.
Oh,
There's a
yes.
whole nother level.
Oh, yes. So I want to draw attention to two more skills from the article. And I will share, I'll drop in the comments on the various platforms, because unfortunately, this streaming platform doesn't allow me to pick up the comments from everyone. So I have to come back a little later and do that.
Okay.
So I'll drop
Okay.
the link for the article so you can
Oh
have
yeah.
it for yourselves.
Okay.
But numbers 3 and 4, I believe, speak to what we were just saying. So number 3 is clarity.
Mm.
So we're busy, busy, busy doing busy work, being that fruit fly, and for some, fruit fly on crack, because we're not clear about what we're doing. We're
Yeah.
not clear about our goals and objectives. We're not clear about our strategy. We're not clear about what we need to do, and we're not communicating it. If you tie that back in, we're not communicating it because we're not clear. So other people aren't clear either.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we need to be clear about, so people understand decisions, they understand the strategy, they understand the work. So it isn't
Yeah.
just this busy where we're all frantic, but we're frantic because we're chaotic.
We're
We're not.
chaotic because a lot of times, Simone, this isn't people's passion, and you're doing it to collect a check. Let's be clear, or because it's a title, or there's some type of a hidden agenda. There's some type of a hidden agenda with it. But your passion is that thing that you can do in your sleep. Okay, whatever that thing is. But that doesn't mean that you don't have to come to the table organized or clear. But that's one thing that is so very important, because you don't want to just come call a meeting to call a meeting. Okay. When you call these meetings, you want to make sure, first of all, you have an agenda and that you're not everywhere bouncing off. Number one. Number two, when people walk away, you want everybody to be clear. You want to be concise in your message. And how do you do that? You stay on message.
Yes.
You stay on message. Now, yes, we've shared quite a few stories. People love a story because it helps them to relate a little better, and it gives you a little bit of credibility. But your whole conversation can't be filled with stories, because now you look like you're filling up something. You look like we know you're unprepared. But then when it comes to clarity as well, this is what I tell a lot of people in leadership. It's no need in calling a meeting for the entire organization or school or faculty or staff or leadership team to discuss tardiness and attendance with everybody if you're talking about one person. That's where those courageous conversations come in. That's where those courageous conversations come in.
I cannot stand that.
You're nervous to have that pointed one-to-one eyeball conversation with people. So instead, you want to bring the whole organization together, the entire leadership team, the entire faculty, and blast everybody. Y'all have to start getting here on time because, and we looking around like we were here 30 minutes before. What you talking about, sir, ma'am? What in the world's going on in here? So just be clear. Just be concise and have those courageous conversations. And you don't want to have meetings or conversations with people where you're everywhere and people walk away and they're saying, what was that?
What just happened? And I can't get that hour of my life back. You know?
I can't get that back. And I don't understand, why couldn't they just say that in an email? Y'all, we're in a different day and time where we don't have to come together in person in the same room all the time now. I mean, let's knock it off. Seriously, everybody settle down. Let's open up your laptop, send an email about that thing or whatever it needs to be done. But it's 2022. We don't want to go back to the same way, because the key point there, go back. Who wants to go backwards? First of all, it's time to do some new and improved things. And it's with this new normal thing that we have going on. So take advantage of that. Become a little bit more innovative, and it's not the worst thing when we are virtual for schools or for organizations or whatever it may be. A lot of times, or churches, it's taught us to think outside the box.
That's right.
It's taught us to think outside the box, and you can get so much more done, as opposed to running from school to school in leadership or building to building or place to place. Ta-da! I mean, we're right here. It's not even, come on, y'all.
Maximize this opportunity, maximize the changes that have happened and make it work for everyone. And that only can come, as you talked about, through clarity, knowing what you are doing and knowing what is the best way, when even in communication and the execution of your work, what is the best way to execute this particular thing, this task or this message.
And I love it.
The fourth thing I just want to throw in, and then you can jump in, is prioritization.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's the fourth skill. So you can't do everything at the same time. Some things are great, but not great for now. They may be great for later. So being able to prioritize what you're working on at a given time also helps you and it helps the team
Yeah.
because you don't have to be frantic about everything,
I coached
right?
an assistant principal last year and I asked him to show me his calendar and he could not. And I said, "What do you mean? Where is your calendar? Show me your electronic calendar, your hard copy, whatever it is." And he couldn't. He said, "I keep it right here." I said, "You're either a genius or you need some help because I'm not able to do that. And I don't know who could keep their entire calendar." He's like, "I know. That's why I missed some meetings." And I'm like, "How you set yourself up for failure like that every single day?" Just like the word says, you write the vision and you make it plain. So here's what I say to that. I have papers not everywhere scattered. I am like one of the most organized people that you will ever meet in your life. That's a gift that I have, and it has to be a gift. And I say that because I lose like one thing a year, maybe, and I can pinpoint that one thing because organization for me runs neck and neck. They're first cousins to priority. Organization and prioritizing go neck and neck. So when you're prioritizing, I encourage you to make a to-do list. Okay. Every single night before you go to bed, you should really know what you are going to do the next day. You should already have it mapped out. If you don't, when you wake up, you have lost half the day. Your goal is to win the day every single day. So start right here with prioritizing, write it out every night. And then I don't know what your office looks like, but in one of my offices, I have chart paper everywhere, everywhere. I have my personal parking lot, if you will, my personal gallery walks that I do for myself, because that's how I get my thoughts. I'm not going to try to store it all in here. That's where the fruit fly comes in, because you have so much going on in here. So you have to figure out what is it that's going to work for me, the way I can start my to-do list or my calendar or my list of things to do. How am I going to prioritize it? So you write these things out. For me, it's a blessing. It's the best feeling when I can scratch it off, whatever it is that I have done or whatever the priority was, and I made that accomplishment. It's a good feeling. So you have to figure out and ask yourself, what exactly is a priority for me today? What is the priority? What is the most important thing? Of course, you are the priority. That's the one thing you have to realize, not just in leadership, but for everyone. You have to realize you got to put yourself first, especially in a day and time. We haven't always done that. We have not always done that. But in a day and time now where we all understand the importance of taking care of ourselves. I mean, we that's been mushed in our face that we have to take care of ourselves. So do that. But then you have to ask yourself, yeah, if you have something that's due in 30 days, do you need to sit down today and spend 3 or 4 or 5 hours on it? Or should you use that time on something that is due later on today or tomorrow or at the end of the week or the end of the next week? Figure out what's most important. Figure out what's most important and tackle it. Remove the procrastination and the hesitation and just tackle it. Now,
Mm-hmm.
another thing when it comes to prioritizing and dealing with your calendar, it very well may mean, Simone, that you have to get up earlier than normal. When I was working a 9 to 5 in the school system, I was up no later. I couldn't get up any later than 5 o'clock. I had to work out in the morning. And sometimes, y'all know how it is when you get in that office. Somebody knock on the door. You in a good email. You're going through all your emails that you had overnight, and you're in the middle, and somebody comes and says, "Can I talk to you?" Then it's like 3 hours later. So sometimes you got to get to work much earlier. You set yourself up if you're supposed to be at work at 8 and you get there at 7:45. That's a setup. I don't care what it is that you were supposed to be doing. Okay. But you want to get there a little early so that you can at least collect yourself, so that you can at least just woo-saw from the traffic or whatever it may have been, or just to collect yourself before you get into your next meeting to start your day. So you got to figure out what's most important and write it down, rate it in your mind on paper, what's most important, what's least important, and go from there, in my mind.
No, absolutely. And I want to share a friend of mine, Francis Wade, teaches on productivity and productivity hacks. And one of the things I'll never forget, many years ago, I did his session, and he said our brains were not intended to capture and store
Mm-mm.
information in that way.
Oh
So
wow.
it's actually, it makes us less productive. And I
Yeah.
notice that some people, they use it to hoard things. I have everything in
Ooh,
my head. No, no,
yeah.
no, no, no. That's an issue
It's an
that you're
issue.
having, right? And so,
That's
and
a good point.
you make yourself less effective because you're right. You start to drop the ball. You just can't remember
Yeah.
every single thing. So you
No.
have to have, he calls it, some device where you will capture and store that information. And then even when you store, how you store, some things you have to decide, does this need to be deleted? Does this need to be
Yes.
filed? Right.
Yeah.
So that's what your strength is, organizing that
Oh, yeah.
information and where you need it. Right. So that we're not trying to just, and that's what causes us stress as well.
Yes, man.
Because we're trying
That's
to
what it's
remember
stress.
everything, and I don't want to
Yes.
drop the ball because what will happen if I drop the ball? And why are you doing that to yourself? You need better
Right.
strategies.
Yeah. And
You
just
need
just just
better
sit
strategies.
down. Yeah, sit down for a while. Let's talk about organization for a minute. Because like you said, this is what causes a lot of stress, a whole lot of last minute rushing and getting there and coming in on two wheels. That stuff makes me nervous. I told somebody that I was going to say the name and I'll keep it confidential, but I told somebody the other day, I said, I'm not doing that anymore. They're like, did you go do it? No, I don't have time to do that right now. I knew I had to come to this meeting. I'll go tackle that later. I can't do that to myself anymore. I
Yeah.
kind of slowed down in 21, but in 2022, you got to put yourself first and prioritize.
Yes.
So here's a way, I'm going to tell y'all a secret. I'm gonna give you a leadership secret, okay? Free content week from Dr. Wilson. So you want to know when you're working with people. I'm gonna tell you 9 times out of 10 doesn't happen for everybody. You can tell if someone is an organized person. I'm gonna tell you how you can tell if someone is an organized person and how they prioritize. You can tell how someone's thinking is this way. Y'all ready? This is how you can tell how someone thinks, okay? Not all the time, but sometimes. Look at their car. Look inside their car. And if their car is like a tornado came through, that lets you know their level of organization and prioritization. Okay, 9 times out of 10. Now, sometimes you might catch me. You may catch me with a bowl and a spoon in the back on the floor from cereal from that morning, or a plate that I had a bagel or something. I don't know, or a salad bowl or something. But if that bad boy sits in there for 5 days, 10, 30, y'all, we got some issues. We got some issues. You can't do that to yourself.
Yes.
That says a lot about how clean your mind is.
Yeah.
So look at your cars. Look at your cars and say, my car is probably a reflection of what's going on up here. If I have to say, can I borrow your car? My car won't start right now. Can I borrow your car? You got to
go clean it.
You got to go out to the car. You got to walk me to the car. You got to put stuff in the trunk. You got to put it in the back seat. You got to clean up and spray down. Come on, y'all. It's organization.
Oh boy.
It's
Mind you, now,
101.
when I used to be in the classroom, that was me. I had exercise books, textbooks all over my back seat. If somebody asked me for a ride, I got to pack all that stuff up and put it in the back.
And don't dare say, same thing goes with people in their desks. I know I was working with the principal one time. It was stack, 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 mound, 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 mound. And another director walked in with me and told that person, another director who wasn't even supervising the principal, told that person, you need to clean this up. This does not look right. Kids are watching you. And that person was like, I started to use the pronoun, which I try not to. But that person said, but I know where everything is. That doesn't matter. That does not matter. That's why Mead or whoever made folders. Get you some manila folders and write on those bad boys and label that stuff. Put them in a file cabinet. Put them in a drawer or something. But your appearance is everything. I said yesterday on a little snippet that I did, your appearance is everything, not just your physical appearance, but how you are portrayed as a leader. Remember, y'all, you only get one time to make a first impression. You imagine going to an interview and they say, all right, thank you. Now, and we walk you to your car. You want somebody to see this? You might as well come on in here with, lick balls all over your jacket or something like that, and y'all can say Dr. Meg, you're getting deep with it, but no, this is how people
Yeah,
think.
but it's
I'm
true.
telling you, I've been around in this leadership thing, in this education field for 30 years, y'all, and I know I've seen some things, I've heard some things. And just because, you're not thinking about this as a leader does not mean that other people are not. It does
That's
not
right.
mean that. So
That's right.
lead by example, y'all. I'm telling you.
Yes, yes.
Telling you.
And leaders are held to a higher standard. People have
Yes.
high expectations, and whether it's fair or not, you could say, I'm human
Yes.
too. I'm going through
Yes.
too. But
Yes.
people just expect more. They
They
just
expect more.
expect more.
You imagine going to your governor's car or your president's car or your supervisor's car and you see McDonald's cups and mugs and coffee from Starbucks all up in the back and coffee stains all in the seat and in the floor and broken windshield. I probably shouldn't talk because mine is cracked right now, which I need to get repaired. But imagine that. People look at all of that. How would you
They
view your
do.
president? How would you view your governor or your senator or whomever it is that's in leadership if their car had blankets and shirts and sneakers and everything all up in it? Think about it. And I know some people
Yeah,
live in their car. I know
yeah,
some people live in their car.
yeah,
Keep it clean
yeah,
though. Keep it
yeah.
clean.
Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely one thing that I had to change. Had
Yeah,
to
you gotta
change.
change that
And
mess, man. You owe it to
making sure
yourself.
exactly. And so I found that sometimes, I'm personally not a do-it-yourselfer, so I'm not going to be the one on a Saturday morning washing my car. I mean, I'm just being
I'm
real
not
with
doing that.
myself. I'm
Been there,
not the
done that.
one. I'm not the
Been there,
type,
done that.
right?
Been there, done that. That's not my story
I'm not
anymore.
the one. I always say I'm going to be the one contributing to the economy because I am going to hire people to do these things because I don't want to do them. I
Look.
don't want to.
Somebody,
I
somebody.
don't find it relaxing or
No, it's
fun.
not. It's not relaxing. Look, Simone. Somebody told me the other day they were. I don't know what it was. I needed to get my roof fixed, or I don't know, my car or something. They were like, "But it's whatever it costs." I said, "Listen, let me tell you one thing. I don't mind paying people to do something that I cannot do. If I can't do it, come on." Y'all better put your pride in your, and if you can afford it, I'm not talking about, building a house or something like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can put that energy somewhere else. I'm writing a book while I drive through the carpool or whatever it may be. You got to be
Exactly.
smarter nowadays. We need every minute, or either I can just sit there and woosah and drink some tea or a smoothie or something. Because
Exactly.
that's the other thing, like I said, self-care is huge. That's at the top of the
It
list for
is.
leaders.
It
That's at
is.
the top for people in general. And you'd be amazed. I'm talking from experience, y'all. I'm not just, trying to be funny or anything by saying, if you find it relaxing, cool. But I'm not trying to be funny by saying any of this. But sometimes, if I've been really, really, really busy and workshop and conference and meeting and this and that and so many things. And then my bedroom, I got clothes over here and I got shoes over there and I got books over here and book bag and different purses and suit jackets. But you feel amazing on a Saturday or any time when you can just slow down and hang these things up. I'm telling you how
Yes.
to relieve some stress.
Yes.
This is
It's
still
true.
leadership and leading by example. I'll
Mhm.
never forget it. My son lit me up like 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I needed to do a makeover in my bedroom. And it was not junky, but my bedroom was just like blah, and I had books. I had mounds of books. Books like stacked. That was my ottoman was my bookcase or whatever. I don't know what I was thinking. It wasn't nobody. Come on, this is not your room, Trey, my son. So he told me, he's like, Mom, come on, what is going on in here? Look at this. Look at your room. You need to fix your room. You need, and I'm like, imagine a child saying that to you. And somebody might say that wasn't his fix.
Mhm.
Yes, it was, because I needed him to give me a shaking. I
Yeah.
needed him to give me a shaking. That was like a very trying week for me,
Mhm.
and he came in there. No one was coming in and out. It wasn't like it was an office or freeway or anything like that. But for him to see that his mom had fallen off the grid
Yeah.
like that shook me
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And I'm like saying, if this is what, I had to go to my car and check my car. My car was looking a mess, because I was everywhere that week. So
Yes.
it
Yeah.
happens to all of us, but just correct it.
It does. It does. But it does give you a very good sense of peace and
Yeah.
calm when you can come into an environment and
Mhm.
it's organized and it's clean and you can think better. It does give you better clarity when you don't clutter creates mental
Yeah.
clutter,
Right.
physical clutter, all of those things.
Yes,
And so
ma'am.
it again goes back to what's going on inside you and what
Mm-hmm.
you need to let go of, what you need to
Mm-hmm.
process and heal from. All of those
Heal.
those things are emotionally driven. They're emotionally driven, and they come from mindset and experiences and trauma, and
Woo!
so we have to focus on those things. I always, I say, I harp on it because I've had to do this work myself, on myself,
Yeah.
and recognize
Same.
what is the catalyst for these
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
and deal with it. It's so important. So to your point, I have had to find a great mobile car cleaner. And
Hmm.
so he would come by and he would reach out sometimes. So every couple of weeks he'll say, are you ready for me to come over? And he will,
Yeah.
if he will come to the office or he'll come home and he'll do it. And so I can still be doing other things
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
car is
Yeah.
getting cleaned and all that. And because that's happening regularly, I don't want to pile it up with
Mhm.
other stuff. I want to keep it
Mhm.
organized. I don't
Right.
want to be that person that always has to clean up before the housekeeper comes,
Right. 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 I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is practical stuff, people. This isn't pie in the sky stuff. These are very simple things that can transform your leadership,
Oh, it can
believe it or
transform your
not.
leadership.
Believe
And
it or not.
I want to go back to one thing that you said,
Mhm.
which was huge. You said broken people break people.
Yeah.
Man, we got to heal. We got to
Yes.
heal.
We
And I'm
have to.
talking firsthand. And there's a such thing as healing yourself. I'm not going
Yes.
to get, religious or spiritual, but with the creator, I've had to learn how to heal myself from
Yes.
trauma. Let's go
Yes.
ahead and be clear, from trauma and drama. But the
Yes.
major thing from that is you got to heal from it. You can't bleed on people, y'all. You can't bleed on people. I had a
No.
supervisor who was mean as hell. I'm going to say it just like that, mean as hell. And I just found out, my mentor just told me recently, said, that thing wasn't about y'all. It wasn't about y'all. It wasn't about us. It was about them. That person came from XYZ. They still dealing with trauma from their youth.
That's
And
right.
I'm like, whoa.
That's right.
I didn't even know all of that stuff that the person told me. I didn't even know. I didn't even know. And I say that to say you never know what someone is going. You
You
don't know what
don't.
cross someone is bearing, and that doesn't justify for you to be mistreated. Let it be known.
Yep.
It does
Yep.
not justify for you to be mistreated. It does not justify for you to be somebody's carpet. Okay, you have to demand respect, but you can't take this thing personal out here. People are dealing with childhood trauma, drama, and even trauma and drama that they're dealing with now in relationships, marriages,
Yep.
or just what in life. You don't know
Some
what
people
people.
are right on the edge, living a
Oh,
very difficult life,
yeah,
and so as leaders, we have to be able to practice that
yeah,
empathy that is so
yeah,
important, and
yeah,
social awareness and emotional intelligence, where we
yeah,
are
yeah.
it's not all about you.
It's not about
It's
you.
not all about you all the time, you
No,
know?
that's a
No.
good point. Oh, that's a book right there. It's not all about you. It is not all about you. They said they hurt my feelings. I thought they said, I thought it was. Y'all, it ain't all about you.
Yeah,
People don't even know what they're saying half the times.
it's
You
true.
know, and then, now let's be
It's
clear.
true.
Sometimes people know.
Yep.
People know, but take that thing, pray for those people and go on about your business. You know?
Exactly right.
Sometimes
Exactly
people are
right.
treat sometimes listen here, let me tell you secret leaders. I put a post on my story, whatever the thing is called, Facebook story or something like that. And it said,
Mhm.
something to the effect of people might not be acknowledging you, but they're watching you. And
Ooh.
a
Mm.
lot of times, as a kid, say people coming after you and they're coming for you because they want to be like you. And people say that to me all the time. Oh, I want to be like you when I grow up. Listen, baby, you want to be like me when you grow up, you better be prepared to go through what I went through and what I'm going through. Because you don't know somebody's story. So you got to carry your own cross. That's a tip right there for everyone, not just all leaders. Learn how to carry your own cross because you don't know what someone has endured. You don't know what someone is
Right.
enduring. You see
That's
a whole
right.
lot of people here smiling, and you don't know whether they cried
Trust
before they
me.
put that smile on. You don't
Trust
know
me.
what they're dealing with. So
Me.
you can't say I want to be like that. You're looking
I'm
at a lot of
telling
people
you.
look at my page 500. Baby, let's go back to page 5. Y'all don't want to see me in the undergrad stage. Y'all,
Yeah.
Dr. Wilson made it. Oh, if she can do it, I got this. I got this on lock. I'm here to
I'm
let you
telling
know.
you.
I'm here to let you know. You don't know everybody's story. You don't know
No, it's
everybody's
true.
story. So
You
again,
don't.
like I said last week, give people grace. Show
Yes.
people love and give them grace. And give yourself grace too. Be gentle on yourself and be easy. Be easy.
Yes.
So
That
easier.
is very, very important. Very important. Rain is on it. I mean, she is capturing
Rain
these
isn't playing.
points. Rain.
Rain is not playing. Rain, inbox me. I want to meet you on LinkedIn or whatever, wherever you are. Inbox me on any social media platform because you're on it this morning, Rain Thompson. I want to talk to you. Just want to talk to you. I want to get to know you.
She's
I
a
love
lovely
what
person.
you're saying.
She's a
You know
lovely
her?
person.
You know Rain?
Yes, I do. Yes, I
Yeah, I
do.
want to get to know you. She's on it.
Lots of great
Attentive,
people
and I love it.
on this show this morning. Good morning to you as
Thank you,
well,
Sophia.
Sophia, to Gurpreet. Thank you for coming this morning, and also Kim. Welcome. She's an
Hey, girl.
amazing communications coach and friend. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm calling off who I can see. So
Yeah, let me
please,
see some.
please don't hold it to my charge because I didn't call your name because I can't see everything. So I will definitely come on the platforms. And
Oh
Dr.
yeah.
Alexis, thank you for joining us this morning as well. We really appreciate it. And Rain says, okay, Dr. Wilson, she is going
Thank
to
you,
reach
Rain.
out to you.
And
So,
everybody, I want everybody to reach out to me on let's
yes.
start a conversation. I love the partnerships. I'm loving so many people reached out to me from last week. We have started so many conversations. One young lady, she's like, Dr. Wilson, I want to come over to the United States. I want to come. I want to come over to Virginia. Yeah. And I'm like, what? Yeah.
Yeah,
So I love
we have
these
to do an
conversations.
exchange. We have to do an exchange where we come
Yeah.
over and you come
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I'm coming over there soon. When all this stuff clears up, I'm coming to the Bahamas. I love the Bahamas. Love it.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was one of
yeah.
my first.
I can definitely see a leadership summit for educators. I'm
Oh
on it.
yes,
I'm
let's
ready.
do it.
I'm so ready for
Yes,
that.
let's do it. We're
Absolutely.
gonna plan that.
Yeah.
That's next on the
Yes.
agenda. Oh, a leadership summit for educators.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely. Oh
I
yeah.
love it.
I'm already there. I'm already
You
there.
there? You there?
I am there. But listen, y'all got part 2 and part 3 today because y'all
Yeah.
got a bonus half hour. We
Got a
should have
bonus.
ended half
Oh,
an
there's.
hour ago, but this conversation was just so rich as it
Mhm.
has been in part 1. I'm so grateful to you, Dr. Omega, for coming through to Level Up Live. And
Yeah.
any final comments that you want to share today?
Yeah.
And please direct us to your journal for
Yes.
leaders as well.
Okay. My journal, I do have a copy and it's under this book bag. Sorry for me moving the computer and all that stuff, you all. But I do have a copy of my journal. Should I have that out? So you can purchase my journal. It is, sorry, can't do this right. Yeah,
No,
there you
that's
go.
right. It's
It
the right
is
way.
Lead by Example, a 90-day journal for leaders. Now, in this journal, it has a daily reflection, affirmation, leadership quote, and question. And then there's some notes pages. And then in the back, there's 30, 60, 90-day vision pages. I love this book. This is like my favorite. And a to-do list, and then some notes pages. The reason I love this book so much is because it is designed, it says for leaders, but it's really for anyone. I just sent a shipment of 40 to New York to a class. A teacher asked me to send them to her class in high school. Okay. Lead by example. It's an opportunity sorry, somebody's calling me. It's an opportunity for you to assess yourself. Okay. An opportunity for you to assess yourself so that you can grow higher. All right. So you can order them at bit.ly/lead by example journal. bit.ly/lead by example journal. I have group rates for you, bulk rates rather. Also, if you can just inbox me on LinkedIn. I think I'm Dr. Omega Wilson on LinkedIn, Dr. Omega Wilson on Twitter, Dr. Omega Wilson on Instagram, and Omega Wilson on Facebook. But find me. I'd love to have a conversation with you regarding leadership, regarding education, regarding administration, regarding life. I love to make new connections as I've done a lot within the last week. I would love to partner with you in your organization, whether it's a church, whether it's a business, a school system, organization, Fortune 500 company. Innovative Strategies is coming out with something new within the next few days, weeks. I guess it's going to be in a few days. I don't know when they're going to drop it, but we're doing some new and different things this year, and it's going to be really, really exciting. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do, but thanks so much, Simone, for having me on here again. It's been amazing.
Absolutely. It's my absolute pleasure to have you here on the show. And of course, we will be doing more things together on the
Yes,
show, on the ground, wherever. I am just so happy that we have connected and that it is a fruitful connection because not all of
yes,
them are.
yeah, exactly. I get it. I get it 100%. You're exactly right.
Yes,
Thanks so much. Thank you
indeed.
all for
Thank you
tuning in,
too.
trusting us so early this morning. We really appreciate that. That goes a long
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you to all who have tuned in on Facebook, as well as those of you who are on LinkedIn and those that will watch on YouTube. Thank you so much for coming onto those platforms and sharing your comments as well. We're happy to respond and to help you navigate through your leadership challenges or your leadership aspirations. And you
way.
need someone to help you get to where you want to go as a leader. I want to refer you to my website, www.leadwithsimone.com. That will take you to the wait list for my new upcoming Limitless Leader Masterclass. I am
Yes.
excited about that and looking forward to seeing many of you in those sessions that are going to be rich. We will focus on your beliefs as a leader, your behaviors as a leader,
Mm.
and your brand as a leader.
Oh, yes. Beliefs,
Also in
behavior.
the process of launching a leadership brand transformation experience.
Mm.
And that is going to be so amazing because one of my peeves, Dr. Omega, is when people don't have professional headshots,
Yeah.
professional
Ooh.
bios, and
Mm.
understanding the importance, as you
Yeah.
shared today, of image. And
Yeah.
so we will have that brand transformation experience. First one out, you have to come to the Bahamas. It's going to be in the Bahamas. Sorry to say. But
Okay.
if you want us to come to wherever you are and we can do that, I have some amazing professionals who are partnering with me who will help you to write your professional bio and who will take your professional shot.
Oh, I
And
love
so,
it.
yes, I am really looking forward to these initiatives and more to come. So
Yeah.
excited about it. But listen, we got to get our Thursday started.
Yes, we do. We do.
It
Big
is
day
9 o'clock.
today.
Yes. So we hope that we gave you a great injection to inspire you for an amazing day today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Level Up Live.
Bye. God bless you
Okay.
all.
Bye.